Hi, how you doing? I very nearly didn't make a video this week because I'm in the middle of filming a few more detailed and longer videos. Turns out that following an 18th century diet is a little bit more complicated than I expected, but it struck me that we do actually have something to talk about. I've not done a HEMA event, in the UK at least, since I broke my femur at the Nobel Science back in April 2018. But I said, not very long ago at all, that I wasn't giving up on HEMA, and I would be doing more events. And it looks like me going out and doing more seminars and events. So that's exactly what's going to happen. The first time I taught at Fight Camp was, I think, the second ever Fight Camp. I'd missed the first one because I was moving house, but I'm pretty sure I was at the second. It was still a private Schola Gladiatoria event back then, which does beg the question of why I was there, but a few people from other groups that were friends of Schola kind of tagged along. It was back at the gunpowder mills, where we weren't allowed to have campfires on the ground because there was a small but very real chance that bits of the ground might explode a little. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to be at Fight Camp this summer, and I'm going to be doing a few things. The first is that I'm going to be teaching a class. It should be a fun one. We're looking specifically at the myth that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu doesn't work on the streets because people don't walk around in a gi. In effect, we're going to spend some time looking at how chokes and strangles that rely on the gi to work can be done just as effectively when you're wearing normal clothes. If you're coming along, I'd strongly recommend that you wear a t-shirt or top of some sort that you aren't that emotionally attached to, as it's likely to get torn or stretched or both. Which is exactly why we wear strong, sturdy, reinforced gis. It'd suck to have to buy a new one after every single class. The second thing that I'm going to be doing is a little bit more unusual and potentially a little bit more fun. I'm planning on taking a bunch of books from my collection along for people to come and have a look at. And that brings us very nicely to the point of this video. What do you want to see? Some are pretty obvious, like the original Parkins from 1727. But as to the rest, I know what I think's worth bringing, but I'd be very interested to hear if there's anything I've spoken about here on this channel that you'd like to see in person. So far, I have these books on the list in date order. Donald Walker from 1840. Price from 1867. Alison Wynn's Boxing and Ned Donnelly's Self-Defense that were both published around the turn of the century. There is one interesting point about Donnelly that I feel I have to mention very briefly. It may just be trying to kill me. There's a video on that one coming at some point soon. Uyanishi's book, The Textbook of Jiu-Jitsu from 1907. Hackenschmidt, 1909. Probably my favourite wrestling book of all time, The Art of Wrestling by George de Rolverskopf from 1919. And though it's weirdly modern for me, I'm going to be bringing along Get Tough by Fairbairn, which was published in 1942. And while it's not a book, it's definitely something that I suspect a few folk might like to see, despite the controversy about whether it's a forgery or not, and that's Fig's trade card. Controversially, probably about 1790. If there's anything you think that I should be adding to that list, please put something in the comments and let me know. Also, while we're here, somehow I seem to have managed to accumulate 3 copies of this edition of the Badminton Library book on fencing, boxing and wrestling. It was part of a series of what was originally 28 books, looking to cover every major sport and pastime in the UK, conceived and edited by Henry Charles Fitzroy Somerset, 8th Duke of Beaufort, and named after Badminton House, the ancestral seat of the family. This particular book was volume 12 of the original set, and was first published in 1889, I think. Anyway, I have 3 copies of it, 2 in the standard trade edition binding, like this, and 1 in what looks like a version of the deluxe edition, but that was coloured to match the collection at the Nottingham Public Library. Rather than just hoard them away like some bizarre bibliophilic smaug, I'm going to give one of the matching 2 away to one of my patrons over at Patreon. I haven't picked a date yet, but it's probably going to be right at the end of this month. So if you'd like to be in with a chance of winning it, then head on over and sign up. I'll make sure there's a link in the description. That's about it for today. It's a pretty short video, but I'm going to go back to studying Price's diet, and hopefully we'll get that one out pretty soon. But to those of you still here at the very end of the video, fight team!